Jackson Wang's Blue. So his album Magic Man is actually out, and so this is, I think, the second single from the album. Let's get to it. When I'm broken, I'm stressing, I know stick by me. When I feel disconnected, you're all I need. When the water runs dry, I know that. So it's not quite acoustic because I think he's using an electric guitar. I think there's some percussions in there. And then there's, yeah. So I think there's a, oh, nice. That pullback is nice. Okay, several things. First is that it is such a pleasure watching Jackson Wang reveal himself. Like, watching him unravel is such a pleasure to watch. There's not a lot of idols out there after their initial contract expires and decide to pursue their own solo career. Of course, he hasn't left GOT7, and they've made that pretty clear, and they've proven that. But him being able to take control of his career, to push it forward, to pursue his own narrative, there hasn't been a lot of idols who have successfully done that. But Jackson Wang doing all the things that he has done now, especially in the release of this album, he is able to uncover the things we always knew were there, even when he was in GOT7 with JYP, but he's never had a chance to show it off until he actually took control. Now, that the connection of that to this music video is the way that he has been so brave in taking a different approach to his videos. So the first one was really grand. It was all about the narrative. There were a lot of people there, a lot of other characters in there. He told the story almost like an epic and almost like a mythological story, a mythological approach to the narrative of the story. And then he comes here, which I think is still connected to the first video in terms of narrative, but he's able to focus himself only on himself. He saw his own reflection in his own eyes. So to a certain degree, you kind of know that this is him observing his soul from a third person's perspective. That's one. Second, with the first one was so grand in all the ways that matter. So it was grand in terms of casting. It was grand in terms of set. There were a lot of characters there. It was so many instruments. The beat was complicated, but here it is so simple. We hear nothing but his voice, and then it's just him falling and falling and falling. So this is most likely CG. So he was probably suspended and harnessed, and this is just him acting. And then all the fire and all of this stuff were put afterwards. But it just, from something so drastically big to something so drastically small, he is able to take that kind of turn and still make the exposition of the story so solid. So I have a theory on what it is, but maybe I'll say it later. But I think, okay, maybe I'll say it now. So, so I think the first one was him taking possession of something so grand, and then here he's sort of drowning himself, overwhelmed. Basically, he's overwhelming himself with all the influences, with all the possessions, with all of these voices in him, and it was all he's doing. That's my theory, if that makes sense. But I appreciate, so this last bit, when he was, so I was thinking in the beginning, because it was just his voice and an electric guitar, I was thinking this has to escalate at some point. Like, he's going to add more beats, he's going to change the beat, add more instruments into it, just add more layers into it. And then he sort of did something that made me think like he was going to do that he was going to pull me so that we can go on a faster speed. But he pulled back just as soon as he pulled forward, if I made sense. So here's, I hope I capture it. Like he was going to go on a climax there, and then he slowed down. He did speed up a little, but then And to a certain degree, this is how you do a visual feast. There's a lot of videos out there that are, they have a lot of great imagery. There's the colors are beautiful, but there's no narrative into it. Like there's nothing. It doesn't add anything to it except um, beauty in the scene, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course. But here he was able to create something beautiful, like visually appealing, but still adding to the narrative of his song.
When I'm broken, I'm stressing. I know you stick by me. When I feel disconnected.
And it's nice, like there's so many meanings you can put into this song, from air to water. So there's fire, air, and water, which is similar to the elements that he used in the first video.
When the sky is on fire,
Jesus Christ.
I know that I can run wide.
So you have air, water, and fire. That is such a nice visual when he merges with himself. Oh, it's not done yet. This is how, I just wanted to emphasize, I've said this already, but this is really how you do a visual feast. He has just proven that you can make something pretty and you can make something beautiful, fill with special effects and all, the bursts of colors and stuff, and still put a narrative into it. That's number one. He has also proven that you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot of budget. You don't need a lot of props. You don't need a lot of characters in order to tell a story, because here you can see the struggle that he has in finding himself, the merging of himself to himself, him going through the different elements, the different struggles and the different pains and the different mystery, drowning and getting overwhelmed with the power that he himself consumed, coming from the previous video. But still, he did not sacrifice the narrative of the song. I also like that he kept the song simple. It was really hinged on the lyrics of the song and his voice, which is beautiful. He never highlighted that when he was with GOT7, because he was actually a rapper in GOT7, but we get to hear it now. He with such a monotone in terms of the melody, and in terms of he still managed to communicate so many emotions. I don't think he could have done this song any better. I think this is the perfect way to approach it. This is the perfect way to progress the narrative of his album. My God, Jackson, man, I would love to watch you live. Thank you.